So a lot of people complain about the fact that they don't feel the spark with anybody, that they go on a bunch of dates and they just don't feel the chemistry. Chemistry is something that is not just there from the beginning. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the time you have to create the chemistry and you have to be willing to bring a certain type of energy to a date in order to really test whether or not you have a real connection. And so there's a couple of things that are important to remember. The first thing is your environment really matters. If you are on a date and you're not in an environment that is conducive to romance, it's going to be more difficult to feel those sparks. If, for example, you are at a restaurant, I wouldn't recommend it on a first date, but when you go maybe on a second date, you go to a restaurant, you go to a setting where, there's dim lights, there's music playing, like you're in a restaurant, you're in a setting where the vibes are more romantic naturally, it's going to be easier for you to test whether a real connection is there. The environment plays a really big role. The other thing is you want to be able to let your guard down and be spontaneous, be playful. And a lot of people have a difficult time with this because we've had challenging experiences and we have our guard up. You may be worried about being vulnerable, and that is all legitimate. But it's really important to understand that if you do want to feel those sparks and feel that connection, you have to bring the energy. So you have to be able to let your guard down a little bit. Don't worry about just being silly, showing that you're a human being, and just showing up in a way that is just human and natural and bringing a little bit of fun and flirt and spontaneity. This is such an important prerequisite to actually creating a connection, because a lot of the time people will go on dates and they're going to say, well, I did not feel that spark, I did not feel that connection, without realizing that they need to participate in creating that connection. They need to bring that fun and flirtatious and spontaneous energy, and it can really make a huge difference because we all have different sides to us, and depending on what side of yourself you are bringing to a date, it's really going to change how you are perceived and the sort of dynamic that ends up playing out in your relationship. And sometimes you may pass someone off because you may feel like there was no spark, but the reality is maybe you just didn't give it enough of an opportunity for that spark to actually be ignited.